Welcome to Performance Driven Living, the podcast where we question everything. We don't tiptoe around tough topics, we walk right into them. Not to provoke, but to get closer to what's real. You might not agree with everything you hear, and that's okay. The show isn't about being right, it's about being real. These conversations are meant to stretch your thinking, challenge assumptions, and spark something deeper. The views shared are those of our guests and may not reflect those of the host or team. And while we dive deep into health, performance, and transformation, this is not medical advice. Talk to your doctor before making changes to your health or lifestyle. Take what lands, leave what doesn't. But whatever you do, don't stop questioning.
We are here with the Performance Driven Living podcast. I'm your host, Mark Young, and I am joined here today by Kymber and Alexis McClay. I said that wrong. That pisses me off when I say people's names wrong. Kymber and Alexis McClay. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. You guys are identical twins, and I don't know you well enough to tell you apart yet. So, funny enough, I actually used to play competitive volleyball on a co-ed team, and the two girls were twins, and it's like they were identical twins, and I could tell them apart across the street because they just to me had such a different energy. You guys, I'm clueless. So which one is Kymber and which one is Alexis?
I'm Kymber, and it's McClay, by the way.
What did I say?
McClay.
I'm gonna destroy this. Literally, so I did a podcast a while back with, do you know who Philip von Holzendorf-Fehling is?
No.
Okay. But you're impressed that I said that name without flinching, and I can't say McClay.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem. So we are here today actually to talk to these ladies about their business opportunities that they have out there, as well as their virtual clinic, because their mission, I'm going to read you what I have here, that this is directly from the producer. It says, from styling A-list celebrities to founding the wellness brand Koa Life, they've embarked on a mission to empower women through holistic health. Welcome to the show.
Thank you
so much.
Yeah, excited to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be honest with you, like before yesterday, I met you guys for the first time yesterday when we were at the inaugural dinner for the Lifelong Wellbeing Foundation, which are with our mutual friend, Nick Zaldestani.
Incredible event.
Incredible event.
Absolutely magical.
It really was.
Yeah.
Like people there, Callie Means and Dave Asprey and Del Bigtree, Candace McDonald, big name people, and they invited us. I mean, that was nice.
Yeah, I mean, what a victory just to get powerhouses like that in one room who together can make such change. Yeah. So I was really excited just to see everyone come together and what's going to blossom from that.
Yeah.
You know what I loved about that was I realized that I had something to do with it. So of course I loved it, but having the table conversations about how in each of the different aspects of student life, because Lifelong Wellbeing Foundation's goal is to find ways to empower young people and start healthy habits, whether that's social habits, physical habits, financial habits, whatever, earlier in college years, and empower that curiosity in them earlier, that starts setting the stage for life, right? Get them to be ambassadors of things in college other than rebels.
Yeah.
And I love that foundation, but when they went around from table to table and had everybody with a different topic at the table, how can we impact students in the area of finance? How can we impact students in the area of psychological wellness or social well-being? To me, that was super powerful, and it was getting the minds and the powerhouses, as you said, just like in that room, like what a think tank.
Yeah.
At your table, what did you guys discuss?
You know, ours was really, really suiting because the whole topic was around how do you instill new healthy values into the school system. And so for us, our entire life is focused around setting these tools and skills and really making health kind of like an everyday protocol for you. So I think the same applies in a school system as it would in your own personal life, or if you're incorporating health into your career and having your body kind of act as this vessel or machine. So that was the topic for us. And I think some of the main things we touched on, and feel free to jump in, is using your body as a machine, as a vessel. If you have a well-functioning body and you're eating clean, using food as medicine and brain fuel, you're able to just tackle college or tackle a job or tackle life with an upper hand. So that was a big conversation. And then how do you instill kind of community as immunity? So that kind of initiative that you do need like-minded people who are on the same healthy journey to support your journey, have that oxytocin and like social sharing and have that support around you to kind of really move forward with those healthy practices instead of choosing on a Saturday to go out and drink as a college student. You're going to wake up early on a Sunday and add in some healthy protocols, do it with your friends, and then really move forward with that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that too is mental cleanliness and mental health too, and community is such a big part of that. For us, we grew up athletes, so having that support system, that team mentality, I think was one of our things that really got us going and kept us in a healthy state. And I think it's even starting younger than college. It's really in high school. The younger, the better. So if you can get kids really used to creating these healthy habits and mentally and physically eating the right foods to nourish your body, to nourish your mental health at a younger age, it's just going to set them up for success.
And the conversation that we were having at my table was, I used to be a college professor years ago, so a lot of experience on the college campus life and dealing with students and trying to reel them in. And it's like, and I don't say reel them in, but I think young people, for the first time that they get out of their parents' home, it's the first time they're making their decisions.
Yeah.
They get to decide what's in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
They get to decide how early I wake up. I mean, not that they couldn't have done that in high school, but I can choose evening classes or morning classes. It's not that high school begins at 7:30 whether I like it or not, right? Like they get to choose when they go work out. They get to choose who their social circle is going to be because they're not with the same friends who happen to live in the same zip code, right? Like all of this changes, and I think it's the first time that we see young people making decisions for themselves that are impacting their lives. So I love that. I love the conversation around how do we instill the good stuff earlier, because those early decisions become lifelong patterns.
Yep, 100%.
And the way we can interrupt patterns earlier, or better yet, just make good patterns from the beginning so there's no need for an interrupt is even better.
Yeah, it gives them the option to allow them at that age to make better choices. So instead of having like the freshman 15, they're going to become healthier individuals, build those routines and those habits that are just going to set them up later on in life.
Yes. Or even looking at the people we surrounded ourselves with in college. Those people can later on be mentors to open up doorways for you in work, or they can bring you down and create bad patterns and potentially things like over drinking, binge eating, putting off priorities. So I think that part is so important as well, is like those group of friends you have in college are really going to influence your life big picture. So making kids aware of that and teens aware of that, and our younger population aware of like the choice you make now does trickle on later on in life, and really creating healthy habits.
Yeah, and again, having a support system where we're really blessed as being identical twins, we always had each other to show up for each other, and we don't sugarcoat anything with each other. I think we keep each other in
We're
check.
Check and balance.
Yeah, check and balance. So we were able to support each other throughout our childhood and throughout college. We did go to different schools, but we support
Can't
system.
get away with anything when you have a twin sister.
That's probably
And
true.
I always know what she's thinking, so you can never lie to me.
Yeah.
Well, and I love that idea. I mean, I'll be honest and tell you, like when I was in college, like my lifestyle choices were terrible.
Yeah.
And I think there's I'm going to blame society. Nothing to do with my bad choices. But we almost have this ethos around what college life should be. And then I think when we get young people who go to college, they think that they're supposed to participate in what should be, right?
That's
like
so true.
I'm supposed to kegger.
Yeah.
Like I'm supposed to put on the freshman 15. Like I'm
It's
supposed
your
to.
rite of passage in a
Absolutely.
way.
You're supposed to have weird unprotected sex. Like
Yeah.
you're just like, all of these things are just part of college experience, right? It's supposed to be unhealthy, and it's supposed to be promiscuous, and it's supposed to be inebriated. Like no, none of that.
Yeah.
Like literally none of that. And I think young people today see that as their first big flex out of living at home. And I love the mission of how do we get in and almost start that coaching with students that's not normal.
Yeah.
And I love that this is happening. We're here at the Dave Asprey Biohacking Conference this week because we're all very like-minded in that way. But one of the things I love about what's going on, not necessarily with just the lifelong well-being, but with the entire health and wellness, Bobby Kennedy, Maha, like there's a tailwind right now. And I think the tailwind actually, now I'm going to say like everybody in the Maha camp is just like, yes, we're making it work. Like, and you know, Bobby's feeling it and like all of these other things. And that's great. Like, I'm excited about that clearly. Like, I'm a Maha fan, like knees deep in it. But the fact that I was just looking statistically that the generation, and this is, you're familiar with Domo, I'm sure, the nootropic drink. And Philip and I were talking, but I was actually pulling some statistics for him on a marketing thing because my primary business, I actually own an advertising agency that works with companies in this space and whatnot. And so I've been talking with Domo, in fact, and generationally, you watch that alcohol use generation after generation has continued to rise.
Oh, wow.
This current group, and part of it is accessibility, part of it is, you know, just the social culture, whatever. Part of it is increased levels of anxiety. Just so many factors that we can correlate, not necessarily causate. But this current generation of college students, the 20-somethings right now, whatever the Gen Alpha or whatever they're calling them, it's like has the lowest alcohol consumption of the last like 60, 70 years.
That's incredible.
Wow. There's statistics right now. I was just watching that men in their early 20s are the fastest growing segment of church attendance.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
You would never assume that.
You know, I believe it. My little brother, my half brother, is 19, and he's joined a sorority at ASU of all places.
Fraternity.
A fraternity.
This took a turn.
He's joined a fraternity at ASU, and they don't really drink. They have to maintain a certain GPA, so a grade level, and they're all just phenomenal students and overachievers and brothers and athletes and super healthy, into biohacking, and you wouldn't think this of the ASU experience.
Right.
So I do think that things are shifting, and even the way they communicate with one another is like just really healthy, deep communication that's like intentional and it's emotional for men, which is not normal. It did not happen in our generation.
No.
So there is a shift that is happening where I think consciousness is shifting with the younger generation, and it starts really with men because the way men treat other men and then treat women, that really does trickle down to the unity at home as well. So I'm actually pretty optimistic, honestly, for future families and future children.
One of the things that's happened over the last few years is wellness is trending. And I know it started as a trend on social media, but hey, let's use that influence and the power of social media to further that trend and whatever influence you do have to promote these healthy habits. So I love seeing biohackers, celebrities really promoting things like peptide therapies or meditation, any way to regulate your nervous system. And I do think that the younger generation might be seeing it initially on social media, but then incorporating it into their own daily practices. And that's such a powerful tool that we can all use. So
I love that. And you know, like I was mentioning, like the Maha movement and Bobby Kennedy and all this stuff, like all these things are great things. And I think especially in the health industry, which we'll get into, because it's like you guys work in this industry, you're seeing this, and we see it as a tailwind. And I think COVID started a lot of that too.
I was just gonna say that.
People's awareness that my health is my problem, not somebody else's problem. And I think what we're seeing on college campuses is actually a result of a lot of lock-ins that did high school online. But this tailwind, if we're talking about people, let's just say 20 years old, it didn't start with Bobby Kennedy. Right? Bobby Kennedy really, I mean, not that he hasn't been obviously a prevalent person, but his outspokenness and his current station is new. Like college students didn't just jump on a Bobby Kennedy bandwagon. This has been incubating for years in this. You mentioned the consciousness, like there's a level up about health consciousness right now. And I think Bobby arrived on the scene at a time that it was already ready. Like, and it's almost like he didn't start it. He's actually part of the wave that had already been starting, if that makes sense. It's like just this perfect storm.
He's kind of a part of the conversation. The conversation, one of the great things about social media, and I know there's adverse things as well, but one of the great things is information can spread and people can become empowered with good information. So the Gary Breckas, the Dave Asprey's, every single reel that's trending on biohacking and health and wellness, 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds are exposed to this. And I even have my brother sending me biohacks to look into, and we're in the industry. There's a spread of information and this notion that we need to be empowered to become the CEO of our own health and take our health into our own hands, because conventional medicine, even conventional society, doesn't really have our back in that regard. And so people are becoming more empowered with knowledge, understanding the body, understanding how to heal themselves, really doing the research themselves and taking that accountability. And I think that's so important. I'm going to go and learn about myself, learn about these modalities, bring information to my doctor, and then really make them accountable to look into it a little deeper. So it's almost like we're becoming smarter with our own health. And then that in turn really puts pressure on conventional medicine and our regular doctors to look into it a little bit more and up level and educate themselves and re-educate and learn more about new practices. So I think that there's this like revolution of power back to the people, which is good.
Love it.
And that starts at every level of society. And it's interesting, us working with a lot of women that are sort of in this perimenopausal space. They're kind of those college students who got into unhealthy patterns. Now they're trying to unbreak them, but they're doing it in their late 30s or early 40s. And so you're unlearning everything that you had learned. And now for the first time, they're taking their health into their own hands and doing things like, how do I just manage my weight, manage my mindset? What's basic health 101, which is really interesting to see.
And I think a lot of that is we just didn't have the tools and the information growing up. What we thought was healthy, even as far as nutrition, wasn't actually healthy. And I think as a world, as a society, we're all just learning that, and we're taking this information and going and using it as we can to help, even as far as like sugar and modulating our sugar and our insulin spikes. I don't think we really knew any of this growing up. At least I didn't. I was eating what I thought was healthy. I was eating whole wheat pasta, and I was a vegetarian. I was a vegan until I was 28 and an athlete training every day and wondering why I was lethargic. I was tired. I was puffy. And, I'm in my early 20s and I'm feeling this way, and I changed my diet. I started eating more protein, high fiber protein, started regulating my hormones, optimizing my body at a really young age, and just getting all of this like sustainable energy and feeling really good in my body. And so I think at that point you start to learn and intuitively know what feels good in your body, and you gain more of the tools. And now we have so many resources. There's AI, there's so much information online, so we have more of the tools, and it's becoming a bigger conversation, and it's really interesting.
The things we thought we were, I used to think that I was eating healthy because I would eat kashi cereal instead of, and I was
exactly,
like,
right?
And I was like,
because the market
kashi's good. Like this must be good. Like it's not frosted flakes, so this has to be good for you. Like I would, and again, not that it didn't taste good, but I remember intentionally stopping to have some kashi for breakfast because this was a healthy choice. And I'm like, man, the things that we did, and probably, I'm going to say we still do, that we just don't know otherwise. Right? Like we still do some of that stuff. Well, guys, I want to segue a little bit into what you do professionally, because a couple of things here, and that is we could nerd out all day. And I love the college campus. Like the whole time you guys are talking about this, you all remember the Huey Lewis song, "It's Hip to Be Square"?
No.
You hear that song? Like, it's an older song. I'm older than you. But it's like the whole song is "It's hip to be square." And it was kind of this funny thing, like, if you're too school for cool, like, the Pink lyric, like it's one of those things that like the nerds actually are the ones that have it together. And I'm like, and this college campus group, like it's like the not the cool kids are actually turning into the cool kids right now, right? Like the badasses are the ones who are actually taking care of their health and are going to sleep on time and are not drinking. Like they're the ones that are going to take over the world, right? Like that's how that goes. And I love that thought process. Now, and I'm going to tell you, before the show, I actually asked you, because like I mentioned, I met you guys last night. And of course, I knew you as you're going to say something?
No.
I was introduced to you as the Naven girls, and I was just like, oh, the Naven girls, whatever. And then you both come in, you're super cute, obviously. And, you got your phones out and you're doing your selfies. And I'm like, 20-something influencers, whatever. Like, and honestly, I was like, whatever. And, you know, and then we're having a deeper conversation today. You're 42 years old.
Yeah.
Now, I almost fell out of the chair when you told me that, because I'm like, there's no way you guys are 42 years old. And yet, looking at the list of accomplishments that you've managed to have together and the way that you're actually doing it, like, you're your own advertisement.
Yeah.
Like, you work in health coaching for women, and you are your own advertising.
Well, I think everything that we've done in our career, and a lot of it we've done together, being identical twins, we work so well together, has come from our personal, authentic journey, from our health coaching. We, like I mentioned before, I was a vegetarian for years and an athlete, and I dealt with a lot of health issues because of my diet and inflammation and not really knowing how to recover and train properly and nourish my body. So started getting a lot of health issues later on in life, my sister as well. So that journey came from our own issues that we were dealing with. Our skincare collection, we started getting adult acne during that time as well. So everything's been really authentic. I think we can really speak to it from a really powerful place.
Yeah. And the thing with women in this age group around 30 to 55, which is really when perimenopause starts, so I do say that's sort of the core group, is there's not a lot of information for us. We're really underserved. So
Well, and it's been a taboo topic. Like, not even women wanted to talk about it.
It's been scary for women to think, oh my gosh, this next chapter of life, I'm kind of going to be undesirable to myself, expired. There's like a time limit on how valuable a woman's going to be. And we don't talk about that, but that's how we feel.
Yeah.
And if you go to your doctor, they don't tell you when any of these things happen. They don't tell you about regulating your hormones. They don't talk about when menopause or perimenopause happens. They don't talk about the changes in your skin and your body that can happen, what to expect. Our moms don't know. No one knows. So we're kind of like shooting in the dark in a way.
But your moms also came out of the generation that believed that HRT was giving people breast cancer, which was complete misinformation as well.
Yes, because of one study that happened.
Because of one study that was performed badly.
Wasn't reviewed by doctors properly, but
correct.
Yes. So again, we're kind of like helping women unlearn what they had learned in the past. So there's an opportunity for us, because we have been our own advocates and kind of guinea pigs as to what works, what doesn't work. And we've been working with so many specialists and doctors, and we actually partnered with an amazing compounding pharmacy. So we've been doing the work for women for about a decade and a half.
I love, so recently I had a conversation with somebody, and it's actually come up a few times. You've used a word that I've seldom heard anybody use other than me. So I'm loving this. And that is, somebody had asked me, I was a guest on a podcast, and the person was like, what are you learning lately? And it was kind of like, you know, we're all on this journey of self-development, and, you know, what are you learning? What are you reading? What are you studying? Like, and my answer was, honestly, I don't know that I'm learning anything specific right now. I think I'm in a stage of life where I'm unlearning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I got this response that was just kind of like, that was a weird answer to that. Like, what are you studying? Well, I'm learning everything again. And I was like, honestly, I'm unlearning. I'm challenging everything I knew, and the dumbest stuff is just blowing my mind, because there's so many things that we think we understand because it got anchored so many years back. And then all of a sudden we get into this present version of ourselves, and we're like, wait a minute. A dumb example, I like cut my finger off at Easter, like the entire thing, but like the entire top of my finger was cut off, and it just healed that fast, you know, and I'm like a biohacking. But what was funny is, like, I actually looked up online, because my first reaction, and this is something super stupid, but like my first reaction was to pour peroxide on it to clean it out, right? And I was like, I don't know why, but I'm in the stage of unlearning right now, and I feel like I need to look up that fact. Only to learn that pouring peroxide on a cut is actually one of the worst things you can do. Because not only do you stop your body's own natural immune response to be able, because your body's built to fight that type of infection up to a point. But I didn't know that the peroxide actually kills all the new growth, because it can't tell the difference from an underdeveloped cell from an infectious cell, and it kills everything, which stunts regrowth. And I was like, wow, like I never knew that. And when I think of something as silly as that, right? Like when I think of something as crazy as my chameleon, my iguana type finger that just grows back after it gets chopped off, I do wonder about women. Like I just mentioned, like your moms didn't, or your mom didn't come from a generation that understood menopause, right? It was the change of life.
Yeah.
And like I grew up with my grandmother, and my grandmother was always the change of life, and you know, people are coming to the change, and it was like you never said the word menopause. Like it was just such a taboo topic, and it was just always a thing. And you run an online coaching business, you know, say an online clinic, if you will, where you are actually helping women understand what's going on with their own bodies. And I mean, you're literally unlearning coaches.
Yeah, actually, I love that. That is such a good way to.
So all the words that are taboo, like menstruation and menopause and all the things we talk about with women, but that conversation didn't happen before. And we don't just focus on this sector, but I do feel like these women really need the most support on their health journey. So what we do through the Naven Clinic is we have a component that is a coaching, a wellness, and weight loss component. So we have an amazing group of practitioners and coaches that will help women put together what we call a blueprint for whatever they're coming to us for. So say they're looking to lose weight or optimize their energy or balance their hormones and regulate their hormones, anything like that. We put together a food protocol, a nutrition protocol, biohacking protocol, and we utilize peptide therapies. So we partnered with a company pharmacy and we do a lot of peptide therapies, vitamin injections, and medications that can help to really up-level the biology. So for instance, I'm 42, but my biological age is 25.6. Because of these modalities, I've been able to completely transform what's going on inside the body. So I'd like to say when you look under the hood with testing, you're able to really fine tune what's going on there. So we help to put together these protocols, and we're huge fans of using things like NAD plus or even like a microdose of a GLP-1 to help a woman in that category who's just having trouble burning off that extra weight, you know, that visceral fat.
There's a great product I'm going to recommend to you. Do you know who Dr. Fab Mancini is?
I do not.
Do you know Dr. Fab? I'll introduce you.
Okay.
He's partners in a company called Brain IQ.
Okay.
And before you leave, I want to give you one. It's actually a GLP-1 formulated caramel.
Oh, wow.
And they're incredible.
Amazing.
Like I literally keep some in my bag because I'm like, it'll just like, you know, I'm hungry, but I don't have time to eat. I'll like eat a caramel. It tastes really good, but it literally has GLP-1 effect. And it's kind of like a custom formulated thing. I'll share it with you, but stuff. But there's so many things out there that you can be helping women with, and obviously, you know, unlearning coaches, right? Like you know, rewiring what's going on.
A lot of it has to do also with the emotional relationship to food, craving centers in the brain, feeling undesired if they're in a marriage or lost their identity after having children. There's a lot that goes on in a woman's mind and body connection. Even talking about unlearning, for instance, we treat a lot of people that have gut dysbiosis from antibiotic use. You know, we didn't know that antibiotics really killed the entire community. So the good bacteria, the flora, all of that community, that's the communication center between different parts of the body. When you're taking antibiotics, and they used to give antibiotics for everything before people really knew the effect, it's killing everything in the body. What you need to really replenish and nourish and pull nutrients from the food is also being killed. So there's a lot of just basic health 101 that we help women with. And then again, focus really around weight loss because that's usually the biggest issue for women as they age. And then look at cellular energy, so really mitochondrial health, and then helping things like modulating glucose, insulin resistance, and just doing kind of like an autophagy of the entire body, so a house cleaning of the entire body with our peptide therapies. So it's been such a rewarding journey to help a lot of these women because we went through it ourselves too.
And one of the best parts, I think, of the program is the one-on-one coaching, because we really look at the entire lifestyle. I think when you go to a doctor and you're like, here's a symptom, I'm overweight, I want to lose weight, or I'm tired, they'll give you something to treat that, but they don't really, I'm generalizing, but most doctors
symptom reduction.
Don't really look at your lifestyle. How's your sleep? What's your energy? What does the entire picture look like? So with our coaching program, we go through everything. We've also partnered with Function Health. So we look at all of your biomarkers with our doctors, of course. We look at all of your levels, see where you're at, and you can just fine tune some of those things, shift a few things in your daily routine, up level your nutrition, customize your fitness program for women depending on where they're at in their stage of life, and it really
their cycles.
And it makes such a huge difference, those things alone. And then you take that information and you can do it on your own. So you let us guide you for a month or two, and you do it on your own. And what's really cool about the program is a lot of women come to us initially just wanting to lose weight because they want to look good and feel good, but really what they leave with is a healthier body, a healthier mind, a boosted immune system. Their hormones are regulated. If you've got higher cholesterol levels, they will lower your cholesterol levels. Like, they leave us so much more, and they feel really empowered.
And they got the weight loss anyway.
And they got the weight loss.
Because they fixed all these other
that's
things.
just kind of like the cherry on top.
And even if you think about just this, 70% of people in America have leaky gut. You fix the gut, you're fixing that center that produces a lot of the serotonin. So there's the gut-brain axis, and you're actually shifting your mindset, helping to have a healthier brain. Feeling better and more motivated every day when you wake up does really change your experience
100%.
in life.
100%.
And we know that because I wake up so excited for the day, even if it's a stressful day, I know half ahead of time, I feel like your health changes your experience. And when you're healthy, you just have more vitality, and that really changes your entire life.
And your relationships too. It's really fun to see couples come in and do the program together, because their relationship just improves exponentially through getting healthier. It's like you're in a better mood, your libido's increased, you just feel sexier and better about yourself. So it's fun to see couples come in.
Our working relationship really up-leveled when we started biohacking together.
Yeah, it really did.
So it just trickles into your entire life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, guys, so I want to ask, so we talked about Naven Clinics a bit, and where people can, engage with that, and specifically to women, but not necessarily just women.
Yeah.
But you also have a skincare line called Koa.
Koa Life.
Koa Life. And so I want to talk about that real quick, because one of the, we live in a culture, and I don't know how I want to frame this real quick. We live in a culture of self-love, and, and it's shameful to physically be attractive, because, you should love yourself the way you are, and all this other, and I'm sorry, I find a lot of it, I think that people should have a healthy self-image, but I think they should always be journeying towards improvement.
Yeah, up level always.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why would you not?
Why not?
And so you've got a skincare line. Clearly, you're both beautiful women. Now,
Thank you.
And I don't mean to make it sound weird creeper, but you're both very attractive. But aside from that, I want to say, yes, you're beautiful, but clearly you take care of yourselves. And that's the bigger compliment, is not, oh, you were born with beauty, but rather you actually take time. You're both put together. You're both dressed well. You both are, your hair is done, your makeup's done. You're very conscious of the way you look. Is that part of a person's well-being?
Well, I think that the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And I know this because I also have had a point in life where we experienced burnout, which led to really bad cystic acne and
terrible
bad
acne.
Time management, just everything kind of unraveled. And so when we changed that in our 30s is when we developed Koa Life. We developed Koa Life, the solution from a problem, which was burnout, not really having everything together in this proper order. The organization was lost, and then we healed our skin and in turn healed our body with these products.
I think a lot of it was our mental health as well, having cystic acne, and then we had mold poisoning, toxin overload really affected, for me, my mental health. I was depressed. I didn't want to leave the house. You couldn't cover it up with makeup, but it wasn't just about the acne. I just was feeling lethargic and depressed all the time and low energy, and I didn't want to be social. It really affected my life.
And taking it back to this notion that taking care of yourself is self-love. I think everyone has this opinion of what does it mean to love yourself, and I really feel that it's feeling comfortable in your own skin. And for me, when I'm healthy, I feel comfortable. When I'm not inflamed, I feel comfortable. When I feel radiant and beautiful, however that looks to the individual, I feel comfortable because I feel confident. I can have good eye contact. I can put my best foot forward.
So energy.
So we focus on not just the vanity part of skincare, but the actual health of the skin cell. So it's all about skin health, skin barrier health. And so we do peptide-infused skincare skincare, and we partnered with the same amazing compounding pharmacy. So we have the purest grade peptides. We use NAD and then copper-derived peptide in our skincare. And there's a lot of clinical studies on these ingredients helping to reduce sun damage by 70%, helping to increase water retention by 25x, you know? So there's a lot of research on these peptides actually going intracellular and helping DNA damage on a chromosomal level. So it's not just hydrating your skin, it's going into the cell and over a period of about 30 days, really healing a lot of that oxidative stress that might be in the cell, causing havoc, causing it to deteriorate and helping to heal on such a deep, deep level. So it's really the differentiator is our peptide-infused premium skincare. So it's not just about what you look like, it's about actually saving the cell and healing the cell over time.
Well, and what I would add in there is like, but I think it's, there's a synergy between those two things is what I'm going for. And that is, I'm always going back to, my background's clinical psychology, and I'm always going back to mindset. Like, it's one thing to be healthy, and biologically we can be healthy, but a psychologically unhealthy person in a biologically healthy body doesn't exist. Right? Like one impacts the other and the other way around. And I'll bottom shelf it and say, I go back, my grandmother always used the phrase, when you feel your worst, look your best. Like, and as much as that was her old Italian, witticism, the reality is I'm like, those are probably the days that when you look good, you feel different. Like you show up and you show up in the world different. And I think when you guys are coaching, again, women, but not necessarily women, and you're coaching on things as deep as gut microbiome reparation, but you're also coaching on things like skincare. I mean, no one ever died from acne, right? Like that. It's not that acne is a health condition that's life-threatening.
Unless it was an infection inside the body causing the acne.
Well, because the acne itself becomes a symptom of a deeper issue, which I agree. I'm a big fan of.
The last thing to express is your skin.
Correct. But anything that goes on in your skin is an expression of something that's going on internally. Your skin doesn't have a disease. Your skin is expressing.
It's a biological signal or messenger. Yes.
Absolutely. But to the point, no one died of acne. But getting rid of the acne changed life.
Exactly.
Because you feel more social. You feel like you're willing to go engage. And I think that happened particularly even with COVID because, acne became the I have to wear a mask. And it's like, if I've got to wear a mask and go out in public, like I just don't even feel like doing it. I'll just stay home. But I love the fact, I mean, that was kind of a weird diversion, but it made me think of correlations there. But I think the way that you guys are dealing with people holistically is what matters most. Like you're helping people unlearn so much. And part of that unlearning, to my point, is you're helping people unlearn that vanity's not bad. Like vanity's good because vanity shows up in your mental health.
Oh, 100%. And the phrase I like is be until you become, where you can really, it's like a fake it until you make it. But I like be until you become because we can all embody that person we want to become. And that's the notion. And you'll hear it from any coach that works with executives. So it can be physical, it can be this emotional embodiment, but you want to embody the boss or embody that like very feminine woman that you want to be, and then you start to become her. And so that has to do with how you get up every morning. Are you organized? Do you make your beds? Do you have your routine for supplements? Do you invest in you first? Do you look good? Do you put your best foot forward? Do you keep your body healthy, this beautiful vessel that God has given us? Do you really treat it well? So it's like, am I investing in me? And I think that comes back to that conversation is women have typically put themselves on the back burner. They're selfless. They take care of their kids, their husbands, their careers first. And so we're bringing the conversation, honing it back into let's invest in us first as women because we're, first of all, creating life. So our wellness is as important for the world as it is for us because future children come from women. So we really have to invest in women's health and then invest in us and allow us to put our best foot forward for every other aspect of our life.
And everyone else is affected by that, even in little ways. I mean, your immediate relationships. If you put yourself first and you're feeling empowered, you energetically feel good, you have more energy to show up for the people around you and you show up in such a better way. So there's
And there's so much. You mentioned the next generation type. Women are literally creating the next generation. And yet, what's going on in your body is being passed down to the next generation. In vitro.
Exactly.
That the unhealthy habits of a woman now become biologically.
Energetically
child,
and physically.
energetically, yes, but quite biologically.
Yeah.
Like the child is dealing with whatever the mother carried, right down to trauma.
Yeah.
Like the child is getting that passed along. And I love what you guys are doing because, again, I go back to that unlearning thing. That's probably my big takeaway from our conversation is that you're helping people unlearn the things that they thought. And one of those unlearnings, I believe, is that, you made the comment about how women are used to putting everybody else first. And they were taught that that was a virtue.
Yeah.
And one of the unlearnings is that it's okay to prioritize yourself.
Yeah.
It's not
That's a really big
selfish to put myself first.
No.
That's the unlearning is it's beautiful and it should be your number one priority. It all starts with you first. If you show up day to day with mental cleanliness, with your best foot forward, with a calm nervous system, you are going to be better for everybody.
You show up better for everybody. In the book that I read, my most recent book that I published called Radical Generosity, and it's like I actually go through the 5, what the word I want to use, the 5 virtues or the 5 types of generosity. And I mean, it's funny because like financial, sure, time, yep, wisdom, yep, relational, got it. But the 5th one is actually generosity to yourself.
Yeah.
And
love
the whole chapter talks about how I can't show up for anybody else in the world. It's the put on your own oxygen mask before you help the people next to you.
Yeah.
That I have to be generous to myself or I'm an empty vessel trying to help anybody else around me. And I love that you guys are actually teaching women, again, not exclusively women. I don't want to niche you in that way, but
we're passionate about it though.
But you are, clearly. And it's like, but the idea that you're helping women understand and feel validated that taking care of themselves physically, taking care of themselves psychologically, social hygiene in the way that they surround themselves with people that are like-minded. Because I think a lot of times we surround ourselves with people that, I say the college years, we end up becoming friends with the people that we end up staying friends with for a long time. But I can be honest and tell you, like most of the friends that I had in college, like I don't have a lot in common with them anymore.
And it's okay to do a bit of a social detox. I think that's healthy. You don't have to necessarily cut people out of your life, but knowing what you do want energetically in your life and what just isn't aligned anymore. And for me personally, as soon as I hit about 35, I went through a huge detox in just the people in my life. And of course I will be there for them, but I think that made a huge shift in just choosing better, more aligned people in my life energetically really helped. And people that are on 100%. The same mission as me.
Well, and I'll say this, like when you're in a room full of winners, winning isn't bragging.
Yeah.
And when you're in a room full of people who aren't on that same winning path, there's almost a shame to talking about how you're showing up in life really well because it sounds like you're bragging about it.
Yeah.
And it's like my closest people now are people that I'm in a room full of people that I'm like, wow, what would they want to do with me?
Yeah.
As opposed to who are these people that I'm in this room with, right? And it changes the entire shift in the way you show up. Guys, it has been like so nice having you guys here. I really had no idea what to expect when we started this conversation. But Naven is the clinic for people to look up. And Koa Life is the skincare that you have founded and continue to formulate new solutions for people. All of that information will be down below in all of the show notes here on the Performance Driven Living podcast. Guys, what advice would you give to somebody? I always give you the last word. Would you give to anybody who is just wanting to live a life, again, I say driven by performance, that 1% difference?
I think that it all comes back to health. So health is vitality. So it's number one, first and foremost. And then I do want to encourage women to have this notion of please take up space, be big, be around people that don't make you feel small, but feel big, be bright and bold. It's such a movement that we're trying to instill for women right now. So those are my two biggest kind of pieces of advice.
Yeah. And wherever you're going to start, just make sure you do start. It's can be overwhelming, but it's actually really simple. And, you just got to start somewhere.
Yeah, step one.
I love it. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time. I hope you enjoy the show and get to walk the floor a bit. Love it. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see more of you soon.